You're welcome to Olusegun Maths Clinic. This video want to teach you the 3 hidden secrets to pass Waec GC Mathematics. But before we start telling you this 3 hidden secrets, in this video we are here to we used to solve mathematical problems and questions to explain better, and we used to give some insights and the kind of steps to use to solve questions in order to even pass any examination relating to a science courses like mathematics, physics, chemistry, and other. So don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channels and to our Facebook page. But today, this video is telling you 3 hidden secrets to pass Waec GC Mathematics. What is the first point and the first hidden secret that we're going to tell you? This Waec GC Mathematics, the question split into 2, but the second part split into 2 again. But the first one is, we call it objective. Mathematics has an objective, which is 50 questions. So in mathematics, we have a 50 questions. So in objective. So in the theory part, we have 12 questions. And how does this 12 questions split? In section A, we have 5 compulsory mathematics questions which you are to answer. And in section B, that is the optional part. In section A, it is a compulsory part. In part A, in section B, which we call part B, it is an optional part that have a 7 good question. In this question, that's why we call it an optional part. You are to answer any 5 questions in this optional part. So this is how this question it is being analyzed. So now that's the first point. We are only telling you the 3 points, and if you follow these 3 points, I'm bold to tell you, you will surely have distinctions in mathematics. Now, the second point is this: the sharing of the mark. How does this part, sharing the mark, how does the mark goes to them? What are the marks are they carrying? So number 1, the objective, which is 50 good questions, is telling us that 1 question out of it is 1 mark. So it means that in the 1 mark, so if you have 1 mark in objective, it means you have 1 mark. So the 50 mark, it is 50 over 100. So what I mean by 50 over 100 is this: if you score 40 in Waec GC Mathematics objective, in Waec Mathematics, is telling us that you have scored 50. If you score 50, it means you have scored 50 over 100. The objective part of Waec Mathematics, it is not being split to any area. When you score 40, it means you score 40 already. So if you score 50, it means you have already have 6s. That is the meaning. That is why it is highly important to really monitor your objective as solving, because it is not being divided. When you score 50, you score 50. So that is the objective part in mathematics, which carry 50 mark, and 1 out of it carry 1 mark. Each question carry 1 mark. Now, in theoretical parts that have 2 sections, we have section A, which is compulsory part, and we have section B. What are the mark going to this section? In section A, which is compulsory part in mathematics, it has 5 good questions, which I have explained in the first secret. I'm in the second secret now. So in the sharings of the marks, so in this 5 questions, each carries 8 marks. So each carries 8 marks, and meaning that 8 times 5 give us 40 marks. So telling us that the compulsory part has a 40 marks. So that is how the marks goes to the part A. In part B, which we have 7 good questions, we start from 6 to 12. Now, we have from 6 to 12, so which is 7 good marks. So you have to answer any 5 out of these 7 questions. So each of these 5 questions carries 12 marks. So meaning that 12 times 5 give us 60. So meaning that 40 plus 60 now give us 100. If you score this on, if you score the theory, you score all the marks, it means you have 100 marks. But the 100 mark is not sharing in your result. It's only sharing at rate of you will turn it back to 50%. So telling us that the section A and B adding together to give us 100% must be back to 50%. So it is not the 50% that you are now going to add with the 50% of the objective that will give you 100%. Now, what this sharing of mark, what is now the real full meaning? So it means that in your objective, if you have been able to score at least 40 marks, it means you only need like 30 marks to have distinction. So in your objective, if you are able to score 40, now in your theory, how do you analyze? Because the first part A compulsory, if you are able to score like in the 40 mark, you score 30. In the section B, you score like also out of 60, you score 40. So 30 plus 40 giving us 70, making 35. So 35 plus 40 of the objective, you have scored 75%, which is distinction. So if you are able to follow this step, so now that is the secret, that is the second secret. Now we are now going to the third secret. It is just only 3. We are able to tell you how in the first secret, we are able to explain how does the question analyze. The second secret, I am able to explain how these questions are sharing mark. But this last secret, that's highly important for you to know. So don't skip this video. It is highly important to know this third secret. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. What is the third secret? How do you answer this question? How to answer this question? Number 1, in the objective part, in answering this question, he has a 50 good question. The first thing you must consider if you are to answer objective question in mathematics is this. You are to answer the known question. The question that you know very well out of the objective. You start with it. Start with the known subject. So, for example, you believe you know 35 out of 50. You start with the 35. Recall, after you have solved the 35, that your brain has now settled. You can now realize that the 15 that you believe you don't know, you might even know them because of the high tension. So it is advisable to use the fast thinkings of your brain and your memory for the questions that you know best. So the remaining 15, you can still discover that you know. Out of the 15, you can still discover that you know 6 out of it. So meaning that there is tendency for you to score 40. So that is why in mathematics objective, you must start with the questions that you believe you know very well. That is just the secret in answering question in objective. How do we answer question in theory? This is the most high levels of you need to listen to. How do you answer question in theory? There is, I said it is an hidden secret. Now, the hidden secret in answering question in theoretical part. For example, we are given section A that we call compulsory part. Now, we are also given section B, which we call optional part. Now, before you even answered question, the recent WAEC examination now, there is no extra booklet. So it is not the era of olden days where you are going to have 2-3 extra booklet. No, it is inside your question that you are going to answer the question. So now, what are you now going to do? You are going to, from your math set given to you, there is a pencil and ruler. Use the pencil and the ruler to divide the page of your answer sheet. You remember, it is your answer sheet that is even your question sheet now in the WAEC GC. So you will use pencil to divide the page. If the page is 4 already, it will be divided. After divided, it will now turn to 8. So it will now give you an opportunity to release your steps in solving this question. Many people, because of the low space, they find it so difficult to show their step. Recall, mathematics marks steps. That is the number 1 point. Mathematics mark step, and you must show the step. How do you now go to show the step? You recall that the answer sheet, it is not as before that you can just be getting an extra answer sheet. So, but now, what's most important is use your pencil. So, in case the sheet that you now divide into 2 now have an excess, you can use an eraser to clean it. That is just the first point. So in theory part, you must split the book, you must split the page into 2 equal parts each page. So it will motivate you to show more of your steps that you know. That's the first step in the 3rd secret. What is the 2nd step that's most highly important? Why do we call it hidden secret? It is these steps that I'm going to now. This step, it lets us to know that there is in the theory part, which is part A. Part A said compulsory part. Part B said optional part. Please, I want to ask a question. Where does Waec write it in your question part that you must answer part A first? Many people made this mistake. They answer the compulsory part question first. They use all what they have as the agility, the first insert. They use it to solve only 40 questions. They left the 60 mark question. They use all their power, the 5 questions, to solve only 40 marks question, which I've explained in the 2nd secret. How does the questions share their marks? So it is only 40 marks, and students waste most of they use the agility, as I've said early in my first way of solving how to answer the question. Recall, you are to answer the one that you know first, not in compulsory part, but in optional part. Why? Let me tell you the reason why you must do this. The reason is this: it is just compulsory part telling you that it is not an optional part. It's not telling you that it is compulsory and you must start it first. That is why I'm releasing this secret to you now, that it is not compulsory for you to start section A first, but start the optional part first. Why are you starting the optional part first? Because it carries 60 good mark. The compulsory part carry just 40 marks. Now, you are now using what you have first to answer question. Recall, in the section B, firstly go and do the number you know in section B, because many people made the mistake. They now solve the 1 to 5, and the time now remain a little bit small. By the time they finish section A, the moment they now wake up that I'm now going to section B, the invigilator has now continued starting that 1 hour more. The tension may reduce the ability to think deep. But if you are able to solve the one you know in section B before section A, even though the invigilator now said that 1 hour remaining, 1.5 hour remaining, that word will not affect your psychology. And it is this your psychology that will determine the inner thinking, how you are going to think and reason the solution to the question. This psychology, it is one that will suppress, if you have the opportunity to overcome it, it is one that will suppress the powers of tension in you. So these are the reasons why it is advisable to start the one you know in section B, because that is why we call it an hidden secret, which we are revealing now to you, that will make you to have distinction. So that is number 1. So you start section B, the one you know. So recall, which I have said early, remember it is 12 mark per one. I'm repeating it. Section A, it is 8 mark per one. And there is no place where Waec writes it to you that you should go and solve part A first. So that is why I'm revealing secrets. So every student writing this exam, the moment you stop watching this video, after you have watched this video, the confidence in you to have distinction will just come straight, because you have exactly know where to start your theory part. So now, after you have solved the one you know in the section B, so you now go to section A. In section A, so you now go back to section A, and you now do the one you know again. In section A, that is the compulsory part. You now go back again to go and do the one you know first. After you are able to have solved the one you know first, so that is where you have used what you have to solve it. So after then, you now go back to go and think. That is then, even though the time has gone, you will not have tension to think, because you have done some part. At least as at then, you might have solved at least 3 out of the 2. You have solved 3 in part B. You have solved 3 in part A. You have a 6 question. Many people will only solve 1 in part B. They will solve all the 5 in part A, and they will be telling you that they have solved 6 questions. They have tried. Meanwhile, 40 plus 12, which is 52, that's 6. But recall, if you are able to have solved 3 questions, that is 36 plus 24. So in a way, you have balanced. For example, you have solved 5 questions in part B. God give you an opportunity to know it better. You have solved 5 questions in part B. You have already in 60 questions. You have solved it. So you now try to solve like 3 in 8 mark 24. So that is 84. You are open about 84. Even though you score the 84, you score the 80, it means you have 40. So 40 plus 40, you have A1. So which I believe. So now, after you have solved the one you know in section A, in section B, you now go back to the one you believe you don't know. At the moment that you're able to now solve the remaining don't know. So the third step is this. Don't forget, which I've explained the other one, but I need to explain it now better. Mathematics requires steps. Every step you believe in you, it must be written down. Don't forget about it. It is highly important. Every step you believe, don't overlook that the marker will know. No, the marker don't know you. What marker know? It is your answer sheet. That is what marker knows. So you are only expressing, and you don't know the marker. So you are only expressing your mind to the marker by releasing all the steps of the solution for the marker. So don't skip any solution. Don't say that the step is too much. Mathematics deals about step. Mathematics marks steps. So you release every question with a reasonable step. Don't forget, with a reasonable step. So by the time you are writing step, the marker will be able to justify himself in marking you that you score a very good mark, because your step will explain what is in you. So the step in mathematics, it is highly sacrosanct. It is things that you must put in mind. So now I've able to release these 3 hidden secrets, which I said: the analysis of the question, the sharing of the mark, and how to answer question. If you know this video is helpful and this video it is educational motivated, please don't forget to share this video. Don't forget to help us to like this video and likes our Facebook page and follow our YouTube page for many of these hidden secrets which we are still going to release and we make students to have distinction. I hope and I wish you the best in your examination. Thank you.